Terraria's endgame range gear is extremely powerful and super versatile. Most of this gear is available after you defeat the Moonlord, and for the third time I'll say, check out my Moonlord boss guide. It's a long, weird video, but it's pretty cool. Okay, let's move on. The best ranged armor is Vortex armor, crafted with a total of 45 Vortex fragments from the Vortex pillar and 36 Luminite bars from the Moonlord. It gives a total of 62 defense, along with 36% added ranged damage, 27% higher critical strike chance, and 25% extra chance not to consume ammo, and 10% more movement speed. It doesn't end there though. Ranged gear also gives you the ability to enter stealth mode by double tapping the down key. While in stealth mode, enemies will have a lower chance to target you, and you also get a whopping 80% more ranged damage and 20% increased critical strike chance. Unlike Shroomite armor, you don't have to stand still for this effect to happen, but stealth mode causes your player to move ridiculously slow. It doesn't affect your top speed, but severely affects how long it takes to get up to that speed. So you can still run 34 miles per hour with Frostbark boots or fly 63 miles per hour with hovering wings. It's just a way slower process. Stealth mode also negates the speed boost of running on asphalt and the speed boosts of any other potions or accessories you might have. Also, with this armor equipped, your player will have dust clouds behind his feet when he runs, as if he's wearing Hermes boots. Overall, it's a powerful set of armor, and the stealth mode allows you to absolutely dominate, especially alongside friends who can distract the enemies for you, because survivability is probably this class's biggest weakness. The best endgame range weapons are the Vortex Beater, the Phantasm, the Celebration, and the SDMG, or the Space Dolphin Machine Gun. The Vortex Beater is crafted with 18 Vortex fragments, and fires an inaccurate barrage of bullets along with homing explosives. It has a base damage of 50 and a 66% chance not to consume ammo. Because of its inaccuracy, I recommend using chlorophyte bullets with it, which lock onto enemies, making it a much more effective weapon. This weapon is really effective against the Moonlord, and since it can be crafted directly after defeating the Vortex pillar, you can use it for your first fight. The best modifier for the Vortex Beater is Unreal! The Phantasm is a counterpart to the Vortex Beater, and is crafted with the same 18 Vortex fragments. It shoots a clump of 4 arrows at once, slowly increasing its fire rate as the trigger is held. Like the Vortex Beater, the Phantasm also has a 66% chance not to consume ammo. This weapon's main source of damage, though, comes from the magical arrows that fire and home in on enemies after a successful hit with the normal arrows. Once you get the fire rate up and continue to land shots, this bow rips bosses and enemies apart. An endless quiver is fine to use with the Phantasm, as the magical arrows will do so much damage, but if you're really trying to deal crazy damage, Luminite arrows synergize incredibly well with the Phantasm. Luminite arrows can pierce up to 4 enemies and cause a laser to fire right after the initial arrow is fired. Since the Phantasm shoots 4 arrows, 4 lasers are fired at once, paired on top of the magical arrows the Phantasm normally fires, and you'll just be dealing insane damage. Some other options are Holy Arrows, which drop those falling stars on enemies, or Ecor Arrows, which lower the defense of the enemies, but those Luminite arrows, man, easily the best. The best modifier for the Phantasm is Unreal! The Celebration is a drop from the Moonlord. It fires 2 rockets with each shot that explode into fireworks. It has a really large blast radius that can damage bosses and enemies multiple times with each shot. And the explosion and the rockets are actually 2 separate sources of damage. To be honest though, the Celebration is probably better used as a literal celebration rather than an actual weapon, because its DPS and overall usefulness compared to the other weapons is kind of lacking. Also, rockets 2 and 4, which usually destroy tiles, will not when used with this Celebration, meaning rockets 3 and 4 are technically identical. But in the next update, we'll see an upgrade of this weapon, in the form of the Celebration Mark II, and it definitely looks like an upgrade. The best modifier for the Celebration is Unreal! The SDMG, or Space Dolphin Machine Gun, is the most powerful gun in the game. It's dropped from the Moonlord and does a base 77 damage with an insanely fast fire rate, and also has a 50% chance not to consume ammo. It's a direct upgrade from the Mega Shark, It sort of makes the Vortex beater obsolete though, which is kinda sad, but hey, both are fun to use. The gun shreds with normal musket balls, but chlorophyte bullets will guarantee you hit your target, crystal bullets will cause you to pump out a lot more damage, and luminite bullets will pierce up to like 50 enemies. So depending on what you're fighting, the ammo you use will make certain fights a lot easier. But let's be real, you can pretty much melt everything with any ammo type on this gun. Except the destroyer, I definitely recommend using luminite bullets there. They will pretty much insta-kill him, but honestly, what piercing weapon doesn't insta-kill the destroyer? I mean, you could probably kill 5 Moonlords at once with an STMG with luminite bullets. Okay, maybe it's not that easy, but it's still a really good weapon. The best modifier for the SDMG is Unreal! Other cool ranged weapons that are good, but not quite as good as the previous weapons are the sniper rifle, a gun with high bullet damage, but of course, very slow speed. The Tsunami, a bow dropped by Duke Fishron, which shoots 5 arrows at once, and it's a super effective weapon, just not as effective as a Phantasm, I think. And finally, the coin gun, which fires coins, and the more valuable the coin, the more damage you do. Sounds awesome. Thing is, using platinum coins as ammo doesn't even reach the DPS of the SDMG with musket balls. So, I would have to be an insane person to recommend you use that, and you would have to be an insane person to use it. Or you could just use an inventory editor to get unlimited platinum coins. Obviously, just for science. And lastly, I recommend using an ammo reservation potion to save bullets or arrows or rockets, whatever ammo you're using, it'll save it. And if you're using a bow, an archery potion, which will make you do a lot more damage. The accessories I generally use are a pair of wings, in this case the Vortex booster, not only because it matches the armor, but it also has the hovering ability, which is really useful while in stealth mode. With these wings, you really don't need frostbark boots or any sort of running boots, as the hovering is a bit more effective. And as always, an ink shield, because knockback makes me want to punch people in real life. Unless I'm fighting certain bosses where I can just stand still in stealth mode, then I replace the ink shield. Same with the wings, but I generally like to have both of those when I'm just playing normally. The sniper scope is probably the best ranger accessory, as it increases damage and critical strike chance by 10%. It's crafted with the destroyer emblem mixed with a rifle scope. It also lets you see further when holding a gun by holding right mouse button when near the edge of the screen. The destroyer emblem is also good to use along with it for the 10% increased damage and 8% increased critical strike chance. The ranger emblem, also good, as of course it gives you that 15% ranged damage increase. The magic quiver is nice to use along with the phantasm, as it increases arrow damage by 10% and arrow velocity by 20%, making it especially useful with the phantasm's awkward initial firing. Other useful accessories are a celestial shell, Avenger's emblem, or a celestial stone that you can use to replace some of the accessories you might not currently need. For Reforging, I generally try to get my critical strike chance close to 100% while in stealth mode, and the ranged weapons already have a really high base critical strike chance, so with a rage potion, maybe one lucky accessory, and stealth mode, the STMG hits 98% critical strike chance, so I generally use the rest for menacing to get the most effectiveness out of it. Or you can reforge another accessory to lucky and you'll have over 100% critical strike chance. My normal setup is generally this: Vortex booster, ink shield, sniper scope, destroyer emblem, and ranger emblem. But to fight the Moonlord or any other boss on normal mode, I'll replace the wings and the ink shield with an Avenger's emblem and a celestial shell. And that's because I kinda just stand still in stealth mode and you can pretty much melt any boss in normal mode. But you can always switch it up. Like during the Pumpkin Moon, I generally keep the ink shield, because I kinda just walk around and try to kill everything immediately. And if I can't get around and pick up the health and I keep getting knocked back, then I generally die. So yeah, feel free to switch it up and pick whatever suits your playstyle. On expert mode, you really can't tank the Moonlord, so I keep the wings and the shield, replace all the reforges with warding, and for my 6th accessory, I use the celestial shell. And I know it's kind of a touchy subject, warding versus menacing, but I personally have a lot easier time on expert mode when my defense is boosted rather than my damage. And that'll do it for Terraria's endgame ranged gear. Hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a comment, smash a like, subscribe a sub. You know the drill. Take care, everybody.